All right. Hey, look at that.
Wow.
We're live, everybody.
Professional.
A little bit earlier than stated on Facebook and Twitter. So
Hey, no, this is the pre-show.
sure, it's the pre-show. So what we're gonna do. So we're gonna call it anyway. We'll get into it in a second. The title of the episode is 3.5 hours of sleep.
Nice.
For a reason.
Yep. Oops.
Oh, there's an oops. But it's nobody in the house's fault. So we will get to all of that. You know what? Maybe I'll put the show audio in here in the audio only version, but I'm not playing it from here because I don't have it from here. So all right, let's come out to hey everybody. Welcome into another episode of the WTH podcast. My name is Nate. That is Jason. That is Kareem.
Hi.
Yo.
How you doing? Let's put comments on here, so in case somebody's like, I can't hear Kareem, we can see those as they come up. That's always my fear, is that someone won't be able to hear Kareem. We got a lot to talk about on the show today. As we're recording this, it is Monday, September 12th, 2022, just past 9/11, and man, the Republicans were just 9/11ing it up yesterday.
Yes.
They were all about it, making sure that everybody was in a good mood, remembering 9/11 and saying nice things about the Queen. That's what it was all about for a half a second.
Yep.
I mean, not Ted Cruz, of course, because
Of course not.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Punk ass Ted.
we're back.
It's on brand.
Yeah, we're back. We were away for the last 2.5 weeks. Well, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. We took 2 weeks. Amongst other things, we went to the Great Wolf Lodge
Yeah.
in Manteca.
How was it?
It was, well, do you want to hear it from the from the words of the 3.5-year-old?
Yes.
Ow! She loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she lost her mind.
All right.
She loved the wave pool. Loved the wave pool. Wanted to live in the wave pool. But yeah, for a kid, I would say 3.5 to 10 or 11. I mean, and then they've got big water slides too. So there's something for everybody there. But yeah, for the little kids, it was fantastic. They had the dance party every day at 6:15, which she of course lost her mind at. They had story time, which was a little bit more of a challenge because you're supposed to sit still for that. That's a much bigger challenge for the 3.5-year-old. But yeah, that was it.
How did you like it as the parent?
I thought it was really good. We went. It was Leslie, myself, obviously the 2 kids, and my father-in-law.
Okay.
And the suite that we got had 2 bedrooms, and we gave him the ensuite. So when we wrapped the day and went back up, he had his own bedroom and bathroom, so he could be away from everything else. We brought the pack and play for Zeke, who just turned a year and a half old, and we were able to put him to bed in the bedroom and let him fall asleep. And then a little later, we put Sam to bed in the second queen size bed, which went really well, except for when she fell out of bed.
It happens.
Yeah. But it was nice to just have everything sort of contained in one spot. I mean, you're in Manteca, so it's literally next door to the Costco.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're out in the industrial area. It's this big, beautiful. It's like going to a casino,
Without the casino.
but without the casino. Yeah, it's
So
all
no smoke.
No smoke. But there was plenty of opportunity to drink if you chose to do that. So
Room service?
yes, you could have food delivered to your room.
Nice.
We did not. You could have food brought to your cabana if you got a cabana. We did get a cabana. We did not order food. We tried. So then we got a discount because no one came when we texted that we wanted to order food.
Oops.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was fun. It was fun. It's not cheap. Don't get me wrong. It is not cheap. But when you can put 8 people in one room, like you can do multiple if you want to do like a the whole family in one room, you can do that like we did. And we will most likely be going back in the next couple of months.
Cool.
Yeah, because Sam absolutely lost her mind. When you get there, they give you a headband with wolf ears, like little wolf ears, like for everybody in your party.
Oh, right on.
And Sam chose to wear them to her afternoon class today. Not her morning preschool, but her afternoon class. She put them on in the van, and I said, "You want to wear those?" And she said, "Huh." And I said, "All right, then here we go." Not a fight I wanted to have, but anyway. How was your? We'll start with you, Jason. How was your time away?
Oh my gosh, what has happened since then?
I mean, with you, not with the world.
Yeah, no.
I wanna get into that.
Yeah, we'll get that later. Well, my 3-year-old is potty trained.
All right, congratulations.
She's on the 100% cusp. Like it's still, there's accidents every once in a while, but we have hardwood floors. But it's great, you know. I mean, that's one of those things that as soon like I'm much happier checking buttholes than than like changing diapers. Making sure, you know. So I mean, there's that. That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And aside from that, I mean, I really feel that that game Elden Ring, which you've heard about it like all over the place, I'm sure, aside from just me, maybe.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
It's one of those things that's like a huge game. It's made a lot of money. But it's also, I could see, probably ruined a lot of lives. Because it's the type of game where you lose yourself. Like there's bosses that you play, like certain characters that you fight. And they have predestined move paths kind of, so you can kind of get a rhythm of knowing how to beat them. And I need to duck when I start seeing them bend their elbow this way, or they've done this, so they might do this. But you might play the same boss like 20 times and spend 2 hours on the person and not realize that you spent 2 hours playing against this one guy. But then usually you get 3 levels out of doing something like that.
Right.
But yeah, I spend a lot of time playing that game. I've had to stop. I've kind of had to stop myself. But now I'm playing Cyberpunk, which prior to this, I played a lot of Cyberpunk. But that game, they just had a huge update that came out for that game, for Cyberpunk. I don't know, when that game first came out, it was plagued with all kinds of problems. It was shipped, and it should never have been on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One X. It was definitely like a Series X or PlayStation 5 game and PC game. But the corporate overlords pushed it out. They should have probably delayed it also by a year. And just tanked. It was like one of the first games where they refunded so many people back money. Like they never refund money for games. And they had to get, but the developers have continually there's definitely the COVID definitely stopped some things from happening, but the last 2 updates that they've done have been such improvements on just the overall game itself. And then there's a new series coming out on Netflix called Edge Runners. It's Cyberpunk 2077 Edge Runners. It's going to be one of their anime shows, and it actually takes place in the game. As far as everything that happens in the show, you'll be able to see or it happens in the game. All this to say, I'm a gaming geek and I love games. And if you haven't played Cyberpunk, you should repick it up. It's a good time to play.
Kareem, what have you been up to?
Working. Trying to get a couple things lined up for here. But I was traumatized last week.
Oh, do tell.
I think I have PTSD now.
Did you see somebody's nutsack that you shouldn't have?
Close. So
He did see Brian crawl today.
So last Wednesday, I think it was Thursday, I walked out of my office to a homeless lady digging in her business,
Ooh, nice.
All right.
Front business or back business?
front business,
Nice. So her vagina.
literally in front of my door.
Okay.
And you know, it was just I don't even know.
Was she in the midst of self-passion?
I
Or
don't know.
was she just
I don't
like
know what she
trying to
was
find something she lost?
Maybe an itch.
It was like she was trying to find something she lost. Like she was hands in, like out and like just in there. And I was like, oh my God.
Man, that's sad. So what'd you do? You step over her and get in your car.
Turn around, go back inside, have a little cry.
That's it.
Go rub one out real quick.
No.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm trying to forget that I saw it.
Have you been
There's a
able,
whole site just for that.
have you been able to achieve stiffness since?
Ooh.
I forgot about it. I forgot about her until yesterday. And then I went to Starbucks. I went by the office yesterday and I went to Starbucks and she was in there. And
Oh.
it just brought the trauma back. So
Was she handing out stirrers or something?
needless to say, I won't be getting any tonight. If that was a possibility. Oh, yeah.
Like, even if it was a possibility.
Even if it was a possibility, not happening tonight.
Oh, man. I wish I could see a picture of this woman so I could get a picture of her face and give it to his
No.
significant other.
No.
You can just put it on Facebook and tag Kareem.
Yeah.
She does not want that. Oh my God. You know. And you know, I try my best to be respectful and courteous
Yeah. To all people, right?
to all people. But that just is nobody needs to see that.
Well, no one wants to see somebody digging in their business.
No.
Anybody. Doesn't matter.
Yes, nobody. Exactly. Nobody.
Emily Ratajkowski, you don't want to see her digging in her business like that.
No, not like that.
George Clooney, don't want to see it.
No.
I mean, don't speak for yourself.
No.
I am speaking for myself.
You're not like that, bro.
I was talking about like that.
Yeah, you would
Like
be like,
that.
oh no, like what is wrong with Emily, whatever. Yeah, you
Emily Ratajkowski.
Yeah, you would.
Apparently has split up with her significant other.
That's what she get. She did that. Motherfucker was gonna cheat.
Well, or she caught him digging in his business. I'm not sure.
Or somebody else's business. Right?
Both hands. So the show is titled 3.5 Hours of Sleep because that's what I got last night.
Nice.
So I am just about ready to go to bed on Sunday night. I stand up, and as I'm about to point the remote at the TV, everything goes out. Everything.
I know what happened.
And so I'm like, well, shit. So I check the PG&E website. There's nothing. I walk outside, and there's no streetlights. There's nothing going on in the neighborhood. And so I'm like, well, I guess it's up to me to report this son of a bitch. So I did at a little bit after 12, so a little after midnight. A few minutes later, they updated and said they had a crew out to inspect it and that return to power would happen at 3:30 a.m. ish. It's always an estimate. Always an estimate. I, as many people who listen know, sleep with a CPAP machine. When I don't have the CPAP machine, I snore, I choke, and then I wake up feeling like I'm drowning. That's why you need a CPAP. Now, if you haven't slept with one and that's just how you do, then that's just how you do. But once you've had it, to go back to not having it is not something you can do. Plus, my wife needs to sleep. She's got to be up. So I stayed on the couch watching TikToks and shit on my phone, falling asleep and waking myself up until the power came on at 3 a.m. And then I went into bed, put on the CPAP, and slept until 6:30. So 3.5 hours of sleep because some peckerhead hit a power pole.
Yep.
Now, we're the lucky ones because I got a text a little before I came in here that at 5:20, the last of the power had been restored. Please contact PG&E if you still didn't have power. Because it wasn't just us. It was us. I live near the I Street Bridge in West Sacramento. It was out from there all the way down Sacramento Avenue through Broderick and Bright, out the river road all the way to Woodland. All of those farms out on the river road, no power. So if you were driving the river road last night,
It was
after the person that hit the power pole, of course, all of the lights were out. Nothing.
That's dark.
It was dark out there. It's like Bobby Hurley car accident dark out there. That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, that's why I have no sleep. And, of course, Sam is in preschool now, so had to get her out the door, off to preschool.
yeah.
And Mondays she has an afternoon class in addition to the morning preschool. So,
Long day.
and I got my COVID Omicron updated booster and flu shot today.
Nice.
So now my left arm is very sore. So, I mean, that's why we started. So that's why we were like, we're starting this fucker when we're here. Everybody's here. We're starting the show.
We're doing it.
That's how we go. We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
All right. So, Donald Trump rolled into D.C. That set off a ton of speculation as to what's Donald Trump doing in D.C. Weird thing. Dude showed up in golf clothes. Now, he does have a golf club in Northern Virginia. He calls it Trump D.C. It's not in D.C. Either way, there are photos all over social media today of him out on the golf course, driving around in a golf cart, talking to other golfers. Not a single golf club to be seen anywhere. Anywhere.
Yeah, the original speculation, because there was a shitload of speculation on Twitter last night about this,
Right.
was that some of those people that were with him getting off the plane, they were speculating on whether or not they were feds.
Right. Clearly, that's not the case. But on the golf course, among other people, Eric Trump, Devin Nunes, Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy, and allegedly some lawyers. The rumor was that Trump did not feel secure talking to these lawyers in their office. So he's out on the back nine talking out there.
Yes.
By the way, you big dummy, the FBI has parabolic mics. If they really wanted to, they could be listening into you on the back nine. Much easier than in a lawyer's office.
Not a golf club amongst them.
Not a golf club. There is a whole group of about 10 dudes and not a golf club in the fucking, in any of their carts. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 golf carts. 10 dudes. No clubs.
Not even close to a club.
Right? Like they weren't even trying. So who knows what's going to happen. But the the January 6th committee is back on September 28th. So that is happening. The HBO documentary about all of the things that happened at Ohio State while Jim Jordan was there is going to be premiering on HBO right around the same time. So the rest of the world will find out what a lot of us have already known about Jim Jordan for a very long time. that not only did he look the other way while the head wrestling coach, I think it was the head wrestling coach, was molesting student athletes, that Jim Jordan went to those student athletes, this is according to them, and encouraged them to not report it. So it wasn't, he didn't just look the other way. He actively said, hey, don't bring this up.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So the other thing that happened today, or not happened today, but that we found out about this afternoon
On the 12th, yeah.
on the 12th, is that 40 Trump peoples were served with subpoenas last week.
Yeah, it's been a busy week for subpoenas.
And not just served with subpoenas, a lot of people's phones got taken.
Yes. Yep.
So now the speculation is, which I'm pretty sure is pretty accurate, is the reason why he was on that golf course with those 10 people is because
They're all fucked.
They are all fucked.
Including the GOP leader of the House of Representatives, Bakersfield's own Kevin McCarthy.
Soledad O'Brien posted this thing. It says, MAGA now stands for making attorneys get attorneys.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough time.
Yes.
It's going to be a very rough time.
Yes.
Yeah, something something was discovered.
Something is up. Give me one. I need to check one thing before we continue on with the show. So you guys talk amongst yourselves.
All right.
Yeah. So something is,
Yeah, I read 30, so there's 40.
is 40.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's shitting his pants.
Yeah.
And he looked like he was shitting his pants.
Yeah.
You see the picture of him getting off the plane last night and of him today. He looks like he's in.
Yeah.
And you don't bring all of those people together.
Yeah, where people can see it.
Where people can see it.
Unless you're fucked.
Unless you're all fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And or you guys all think you need to get your story straight.
Yeah.
And here's the fucking thing where they don't fucking get it and they don't understand is that in these times now, like those 10 that are going to be whittled down quickly. Like each one of those people this is the thing that it just unhinges me when I think about these fucking people, all of them. And this includes MAGA people too. I don't understand how they don't see this. Is the fact that they are willing to turn on one another without any idea or consequence, like without a second thought. Like they turn on each other, without a second thought. Like
if it means the difference between doing time and not doing time, that happens to everybody.
But even on other things like that I hear about, like it's just there's this fucking sense of like in their minds where it's just all about self, like 100%.
Uh-huh.
Like we're cool until we're not, because which is everything I guess, but I don't know.
The crazy thing is he's turned on everybody.
Everybody.
So I don't even understand. So look, so you're one of those 10 people. There are 10 people out there. He might be the first person to flip on the other 9 people.
Here's the thing. Donald Trump is not going to flip. And I'll tell you why. They don't want him to flip.
You're correct on that.
He is the godfather.
He's the target.
He's the target. You don't go to John Gotti and say, hey, John Gotti, do you want to flip?
Yeah.
You go to everybody up the food chain and go, do you want to see your family ever again? You tell us what you know about this. We already know this. We need you to testify to the fact that this is in fact true.
My feeling is Devin Nunes is going to be the guy to flip.
Yeah.
If he were smart, I would agree with you, but I don't think he is.
Yes.
I think he's a dumbass.
Yes.
I think he's an idiot. I think he's a buffoon. I think he is a coward. But I think
he'll flip.
I think he's an idiot and a buffoon.
Kevin McCarthy is too invested at this point.
Kevin McCarthy has thrown in, and he may throw himself right into jail.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and then the attorneys. Would either one of you accept a horse for a $2 million debt?
Secretariat back in the day.
I Is it a horse that will be producing still? You know.
Well, that's the thing. There, you could argue that a horse would be worth $2 million in terms of the lifetime of the horse and stud fees if it were a Kentucky Derby winning horse, that type of horse.
Or lineage, yeah.
No, just a horse.
Then no.
Yeah. So he offered one lawyer that he'd owe $2 million a horse
That's more than he paid the Polish immigrants.
as payment. That it is true, and that is why he can't get a lawyer. The Republican Party has decided because of the classified documents that they're no longer paying his legal bill.
Oh, that's changed now.
That's what I heard.
Oh, okay, because the what I had heard was that they were paying his legal bills unless he announced he was running for president. If he announced he's running for president, because he's an active candidate, they would no longer be paying his legal bills. So if they have in fact cut him off,
Yeah, I didn't hear that, so you may be right.
that was that, and that's old news.
Yeah.
So I don't know about anything else.
But I heard after the documents that they were cutting him off. But at this point, he has so much liability in so many different areas. Now the Justice Department is investigating the PAC that he created after he lost, and in the same way that they're investigating the Build the Wall fund with Steve Bannon.
Yeah, it's a scam because
Where
it's all gone. It's none of it's gone to what they said it was going to go to, which is fraud.
Yes.
You can't raise money saying I'm going to do this, contribute to me so I can do this, and then take 90% of the money and do something completely different with it. That is fraud.
And we already know that Steve Bannon is going to prison for it because he was already pretty much convicted of it.
No, he was absolutely convicted of it. He was then pardoned. And if you accept a pardon, part of accepting a pardon is saying, yep, I did it. I will gladly accept the pardon.
Yes.
He's going to jail.
He's going to jail.
His I have not yet begun to fight bullshit on the way into court notwithstanding.
Hey, why don't you create up your own fucking saying, motherfucker? Like, why don't you say something that hasn't, like, not only was said by somebody that was, like somebody else, but also like has not been repeated so many times because, like, get the fuck out of here.
How about something brave like I regret that I have but one life to give for my country? If you're going to steal a quote, steal
Yeah.
that one, you
Steal
son
that
of a...
Just
saying.
And all of those people that did all of those fake electors around the country.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All of this shit that they didn't think about was as being illegal at the time they were doing. There's a shit ton
They
of
knew it was illegal.
there are some of them that did and there's some of them that didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes.
But
But all of them motherfuckers are going to jail.
here's the fun part. Rick Wilson, one of the co-founders of the Lincoln Project, likes to use the phrase "fuck around and find out." We are now really we are just dipping a toe into the find out phase for most of these people. Now, there are a lot of January 6 people who've already gone to jail for 6 or 9 months and are out now.
Yeah.
Because they either took a plea or they got a lower sentence because, hey, I was just there standing around. Yes, I went into the building, but I didn't do anything. There's one Dr. Simone Gold, who is a COVID vaccine denier, who Marjorie Taylor Greene was. I was getting tweets from this Dr. Simone Gold. I'm like seeing her everywhere. Then I find out that she's in jail. I'm like, how is she tweeting this shit from jail? Like, what the fuck, man?
Well, I mean, as Kareem has found out, you can dig and find store stuff in there.
Dig and store stuff.
And what we're finding out is that Merrick Garland is the person that they told us he was. And a lot of people were too impatient to let him do shit the way that he does shit. And we're about to find out.
I hope so. And that transitions perfectly into my next thing, which is opening week in the NFL. And why does that transition well? Because my team, the San Francisco 49ers, told me that they had made the decision 2 years ago to move on to Trey Lance. That Trey Lance was the way to go because Trey Lance was great. Now, here's the situation. So far, Trey Lance, not great. And let me go with this. Let me go a step further. The coaching staff of the San Francisco 49ers should be embarrassed to call themselves football coaches after what happened in Chicago on Sunday. What a fucking pile of nonsensical bullshit they shoveled into the rain in Soldier Field. Holy fucking shit. You dominated the game and we're only up 7-0 at halftime. And then you fucked around and fucked around and fucked around. Your team committed penalty after penalty after penalty. Yeah, in the first half, the refs were kind of chippy about bullshit. And I was a lot of stuff where I'm like, oh, come on, this is ridiculous. But then they just kept letting like, well, I don't know what they did if they just went, well, I guess we might as well because they're going to call it. Meanwhile, the Bears got no penalties in the second fucking half. Not a 1, 0, 0. You know why? Because their fucking coaches coached the whole game. Kyle Shanahan.
So I'm going to say this about your team, and this is all I'm going to say.
Okay.
And that's this specific situation. As I think it was Ryan Clark pointed out this morning, your team went and got somebody who's only played about 14 college games. And
16.
16.
Yep.
And passed on the quarterback who beat y'all, who had done big shit in the Big Ten, who was the second highest recruit in the country at the time, next to Trevor Lawrence at that point.
And
Yeah.
they pissed away multiple first-round picks to move up to draft him.
Yes.
To draft somebody who is ostensibly a really good punt, pass, and kick guy.
Yep.
Woohoo! Now, maybe he'll turn out to be great. Last year, in the limited sample size, he was not great. He's got a really good arm, and that's nice and all. Uncle Rico could throw it over that mountain. And maybe Trey Lance can too. But that does not mean that he's an NFL quarterback. And I think somebody in that front office went, you know what? Maybe we should keep Jimmy G around for the year. Just in case. Just in case. We'll restructure his deal. We'll keep him around for one more year. I know Kyle Shanahan doesn't want it because we moved on 2 years ago. And we can't officially say it because as the front office, we said this. But guess who is standing on the sidelines looking handsome as fuck? Jimmy Garoppolo. And if Jimmy Garoppolo was quarterbacking that team, it would have been 21-0 at halftime. And the Bears would have never come back from that. Ever. There were so many wide open throws that were just missed in the first half. I don't want to hear about his running. I don't give a shit about his running. You know who they have to run? Running backs, wide receivers, fullbacks. Fuck all. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, George Kittle wasn't playing. Big deal. Big fucking deal. You knew since Monday he wasn't playing. Your coaching staff should have accounted for that. That was fucking embarrassing. It was just fucking embarrassing. Up and down. The only team that should be more embarrassed than the 49ers is the fucking Titans, who lost to the Giants at home. The Giants at home. Are you kidding me? Your team won your division last year and you drop a game to the Giants at home? Come on.
So.
And I know your team won. Here's what I turned to Leslie yesterday, Jason. I turned to Leslie and I saw the score of the Steelers game. I went, Kareem's going to be insufferable this week.
So, yesterday and part of the day is I love the Steelers. I hate Steelers fans.
Okay, that's fair.
And I'm going to tell you why. Yesterday was a game that I knew we would win. But most Steelers fans and almost everybody else picked the Bengals to win.
And that's a fair pick. It was in Cincinnati. The Bengals are coming off being in the Super Bowl. And it went to overtime.
Yeah. But so no, most Steelers fans didn't pick them to win.
Right.
And then they're fucking complaining after they won about how they won. This is how insufferable these bastards are. You thought they were going to get beat like they got beat last year by the Bengals, because the Bengals did drag us both games last year.
Right.
You thought they were going to get drugged like they did last year by the Bengals, and then they win, and you fucking complain about how they won.
Oh boy.
Like you should not allowed to be a fan anymore.
Heinz Field half
Heinz
empty.
Field half empty. This is what it should be. You should not allowed to be a fan any goddamn more. But our defense, who has the highest paid outside linebacker in the game and the highest paid free safety in the game, 7 sacks, 4 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 block kicks. Our offense is going to catch up. It's not going to be as good as the defense. It's going to be good enough. The only thing that happened yesterday, T.J. Watt got hurt. But the guy on the other side who we've been waiting around in the shape, he had 3 sacks and a forced fumble.
But let me just point this out for anybody who's not like Jason, who's not really an NFL fan, about the Steelers. They've got a really good head coach.
Yes.
And thus really good assistant coaches. And you know what they do all the whole game? Kyle Shanahan. They fucking coach the game!
My friend Robert, I call him Chicken Little because every time something doesn't happen in the game, he texts me, "Oh, man, we're going to lose." And I'm like, dude, the defense is going to pull it out.
Leslie told me I'm not allowed to be mad at the 49ers because I don't play on the team. But I don't care. I'm on the podcast. I'm going to be angry at them. It's not going to affect my life, but I cannot tell you how pissed I am at how embarrassing they are. The only thing that made it better was Aaron Rodgers lost.
I loved every second of that.
Fuck that ayahuasca taking son of a bitch. By the way, we are on the cusp, Kareem, right now. And they are kneeling. They have the ball. The Seahawks are going to beat the Broncos.
Yes.
It's the Seahawks traded Russell Wilson to the Broncos. Russell Wilson was going back to Seattle with a really great team. And Seattle didn't have a chance, except barring a Joe Pisarcik-like fumble. It's over.
So, is it Denver's running backs back-to-back series fumbled on the first play of the game
Man.
of the series.
Yeah, it's
But before we move on,
yeah.
the Steelers defense, what you saw yesterday, everybody, you just might as well be prepared for that for the foreseeable future. And I want to say this about the Cincinnati Bengals. How fucking dare you? I get y'all went to the Super Bowl and shit, but how fucking dare you come out on the first fucking series of the game, the first two plays of the game? How the fuck did you go running back in the fucking backfield, 5 wide against the fucking Steelers? You know how fucking disrespectful that shit is?
Well, it depends on how well it works.
5 wide, no back to chip anybody on the fucking. How fucking disrespectful. So you do that shit. Cam Hayward takes the rookie guard but with one hand and pushes him back into the quarterback and sacks him. Cam Hayward took Quentin Nelson, who's a guard, who is considered probably the top 2 or 3 guards in the NFL who plays for the Colts. He took him one season, picked him up, and threw him at Peyton Manning or Andrew Luck, one of those guys. So you're going to go 5 wide with this dude in the middle of our defense and expect your quarterback to get rid of the ball before he got to him.
So it didn't work out for them?
Did not work out for him.
Well, you know.
Next play, 5 wide still. Pick 6 by Minka Fitzpatrick. Highest paid safety in the league for a reason.
I'm guessing they were thinking that that the Steelers wouldn't be expecting it.
That is
the element of surprise.
Dude, you got the guy who had 22 sacks, who almost broke the record in 14 games last season. He missed 3 games and tied the record. And TJ Watt. You had him there. You got Cam Hayward next to him. They brought in Larry Ogunjobi, who the Bengals had last year, so they know how good a player he is. And you had, I can't think of it, Highsmith on the end, who, like I said, we were waiting for him to come around. He's been playing decent. He's one of those guys that's always at the quarterback up until this week. There's a quarterback like just a step too late. He always made penetration, but he was always just a step too late.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Yesterday he was there on time.
I'm zoned out. I'm not even.
No, I know.
Yesterday they climaxed together. But I'm like, how fucking disrespectful that you would come out in 5 wide, nobody to chip any of those guys, and just think you were going to just do what you wanted to.
All right, since Kareem brought up being disrespectful, I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead to this. It was a tweet I saw yesterday. It's a Super 70s Sports, who I recommend you follow on Twitter. And it's a video of Mean Joe Green. It says, Mean Joe Green kicks a guy in the balls, and the entire goddamn Cleveland Browns roster comes after him. Think anybody was suspended? Fucking doubtful. To which I reply, Mean Joe Green was a little bitch. Because what sort of real man kicks another man in the balls? Is it because you're not man enough to man up one-on-one, Mean Joe Green? What's going on, Kareem? By the way, I did a little digging on Joe Green. You know what else I found out, Jason?
What's that?
His name's not Joe. His name is Charles Edward Green. So he's not even Mean Joe Green. And then this little limpy bitch in the Coke commercial took a soda off a little kid. I mean, sure, he tried not to for a couple of seconds, but then he took it. He didn't take a sip, Jason. He downed the whole fucking bottle and then handed that kid back the empty and was like, here, kid, deal with it. And he did throw him his jersey.
He gave that kid a jersey. And when Mean Joe Green and the steel curtain was rearranging rules in NFL, and what was your 49ers doing?
Oh, they stunk in the 70s.
That's right.
They got good the next decade.
That's right.
Yeah, the Raiders were just taking their helmets on and bashing people in the head.
That's right.
No, they were beating the Raiders' ass too.
Well, see, I'm not saying anything about the rest of the steel curtain. I'm just talking about Mean Joe Green, who feels the need to kick guys in the balls.
He was Mean Joe Green for a reason. And I think that guy did something to get kicked in the balls, if I remember correctly.
Well, I have no idea.
Yes.
I'm just saying that a real man doesn't do that.
And I don't think any of the Cleveland Browns beat his ass. I think he beat the whole Cleveland Browns' ass.
Oh, the Cleveland Browns were awful.
That's right.
They were terrible.
They deserved to be kicked in the balls for being on the field.
All right, I have something to say that might be controversial.
Uh-oh.
I believe that college football's popularity is a problem. A real problem. Why do I think that? Herschel Walker.
My opponent, Senator Raphael Warnock, I remember hearing him say, America need to apologize for its whiteness. And I'm like, that's not in the Bible I ever read. Because if you really look at the situation, Our founding fathers already apologized for his whiteness. Because if you read the Constitution, it talks about every man being treated fair. But what we've done, we put the wrong person at the table to do the negotiation for you. Because my opponent, Senator...
What?
The Republican Party should be ashamed of itself.
That's a fair point. I need to break this down before we get too far away from this statement. So, America needing to apologize for his whiteness, not in the Bible. Let's just recap the Bible. Most of it happened more than 2,000 years ago when America, not a thing. Moving forward, our founding fathers already apologized for its whiteness. Because if you read the Constitution, it talks about...
If you read the Constitution...
Sure.
That's the way he said it. That's
Here's what Herschel has not done. Read the Constitution.
Herschel had read shit.
So Herschel Walker is running for Senate in Georgia, and he might very well be the next senator from Georgia. It's close right now.
Oh man, he's gonna get kicked out
Because Herschel Walker was a great college football player at the University of Georgia. That is the only reason why Herschel Walker is anywhere in this race or anywhere near this race. But Kareem, the Republican Party should be ashamed of itself.
The Republican Party should be ashamed of itself for sending somebody that inept, or even having someone that inept anywhere close to being a nominee. Like,
what's he gonna do in off? Like, how's he gonna vote on like how?
Whatever they tell him
Whatever
to.
they tell him to, yeah.
The same thing Tommy Tuberville does.
Yes.
Who college football coach.
Yes.
We're not done with Herschel. It was a big weekend for Herschel. Herschel had more things to say about a variety of different things.
He did.
Now he's on to 23andMe.
I heard the guy I was running against. Now I heard this. Sometimes I don't hear things right, but I heard this, and you guys may have heard it too. It said America must apologize for its whiteness. And I started thinking about this for a moment. I'm gonna tell you two things, and I'm gonna give you an answer to this. Well, one thing is 23andMe has screwed us all up, hasn't it? We don't know what we are. But
What? What? 23andMe has us all screwed up because we don't know what we are. By the way, if you take the DNA test, it will tell you exactly what your genetic makeup is.
I had to explain to my dad when I was seeing him, like, how they can figure out that, like, oh yeah, I know you're this much Lithuanian. They go, how can they know that? How can they know that you're because they've tested people that live in Lithuania to see what their DNA was like, and people from hundreds of thousands, like, they figure this shit out, Dad. Like, why are you fucking questioning it?
So I'm gonna say this about the 23andMe, and I'm gonna agree with him a little bit, because the 23andMe got some people on some bullshit about what they are, because they're trying to escape from the. It's like they're trying to escape all of the bad shit that has gone with being who they are. So all of the stereotypes about being black, and so you want to be something other than black,
Or you want to show people how cool you are. So
yeah,
I'm not racist. I have 3% black in me.
yeah. So
That's what she said.
sister-in-law is something about her being Spanish. That's
Sure.
and it's like, bitch, you're as white as this damn. And then actually the other part of that is them people not understanding
They're not understanding
what Spanish people really look like.
Well,
It's like, like they're thinking Spanish from Mexico and Latin America. And it's like, no, people from Spain are white people.
Well, and there's plenty of people in Mexico
that are white.
That are white.
that are white.
Yeah.
They're the ones that came over from Spain and all of their descendants who didn't mix with the native peoples of Mexico.
Exactly.
That's why they are a colorist society also.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
like, but that's the thing is people don't understand. Like, they look at that small number. They don't look at the larger numbers. It's like, yo, your mom was 23% German, 50% this, and then 20%, and then like 3% this. And it's like, you don't get to look at the 3% and say shit about that. Like, that's not you. That
Yeah.
it was kind of a little bit. You might go back and find some cool history, but that's not you.
Yeah.
I will tell you the one thing that those tests are really great for. It's figuring out which ones of your relatives are really fucking shady. Because they're the ones who are encouraging you. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh yeah, we found some.
We found the Golden State Killer.
Yeah, there's family members too that I know. Like, there's people that I've heard of that have found shit out. Like, that, like
Is it Joe Magliona or whatever his name is? Married to Sofia Vergara. They thought he was Italian and he's black.
Well, good for him. But I'm not done making my point.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here's Herschel Walker on 9/11.
oh, nice.
Oh God.
Well, you got to pay tribute to the 9/11 victims, but also you saw America come together. You saw America come together
also-
because this country was, it was on the war with a country that didn't believe in us. And right now we have leaders in Washington like Joe Biden doing venomous speeches that doesn't believe in American people. He tried to...
We weren't at war.
No.
We were not at war on 9/11.
No,
Also, most of the hijackers were Saudis. Osama bin Laden is Saudi. Who are our allies? The Saudis. Who gave Jared Kushner $2 billion? The Saudis. Who held a golf tournament at Bedminster, which is owned by Donald Trump? Oh, it was the Saudis.
And he said, we don't really know who was behind
Yeah,
it.
now he's like, oh, we don't know who was behind 9/11. By the way, I want to remind everybody, I'm not going to play the clip because fuck that guy. I don't want to hear his voice. Let's not forget Donald Trump on 9/11 called into the news to remind people that now that the Twin Towers had fallen, he, in fact, owned the tallest building in Manhattan, which also was not true. But really,
To quote Nate, fuck that guy.
fuck that guy. Also, I will say this. College football is a problem for the South, and they need to do something about it. Because if Herschel Walker ends up being a senator next to Tommy fucking Tuberville, or as people call him, Tuberville, I don't know. I watch sports, so I heard him called on all the sports stations Tommy Tuberville for 20 fucking years. Now suddenly he's Tommy Tuberville? No, he's not. And it's also Uranus. It's not Uranus. You don't get to change it just because you want to. I'm sorry. It's not how it
what was
works.
that about Uranus?
Exactly. Speaking of Uranus, didn't we tell Larry Elder to fuck straight off?
Why? Yeah. Why is he not fucked
Yes,
off
we
yet?
No.
Yeah.
Larry Elder is on Twitter spouting bullshit and nonsense.
Well, I mean,
Bullshit and nonsense. I have gone through Twitter the past 3 days, and the number of people, because I've responded to a few dozen ridiculous tweets by right wingers. So now that's all my feed was getting to be, which is not a pleasant time.
I'm starting to get some of those. Too.
Exactly. You got to go through, and I've gone through the past 3 days. I am not interested in this tweet. Show me fewer tweets from this person. Larry Elder is one of these fucking people. Larry Elder tweeted a photo of the Garden of Eden, allegedly. It's not a photo, it's a drawing. God created man and woman. Democrats created all the other genders. Above it, he did hashtag "We've got a country to save." Let me start here, Larry. Fuck off. Second, Larry. Anybody else want to add anything to the Larry before I move on?
No, you.
fuck off.
Yeah, fuck. The people of California, Larry, told you to fuck straight off. You ran against Gavin Newsom in the recall. How'd you do? How'd you do? We told you to fuck off, fuck straight off, do not pass go, do not collect $200.
And thanks for wasting all of our fucking money, bitch.
Yeah, go to fuck offistan. And you know who can go with you? Caitlyn Jenner. You both can fuck straight off. Anyway.
Caitlin, you can go to Texas since you don't like California anymore.
Yeah, go for
so
it.
all you motherfuckers that talked all this shit about California, leave. Bye.
Anyway, so his hashtag, let's talk about his hashtag for a moment. So Larry Elder is supposed to be smart. That's what we heard about Larry Elder. He was smart. Larry Elder is not smart because hashtag we've got a country to save is stupid because you can't put an apostrophe in a hashtag. However, and I'm going to help you here, Larry, you fucktard, hashtag we have a country to save is actually shorter. It's grammatically correct, and you don't have to worry about, I want to call them asterisks now, apostrophes.
Yes.
It'll be in there. So, A, Larry, you're stupid. 2, Larry, fuck straight off. And 3, Larry, get off my Twitter feed. I didn't block
He
it.
has so many other things that like we can tell him to go fuck off about. His grammar stuff, I can let that slide.
Listen, this asshole, if you go to his Twitter feed, it says, the sage from South Central, join me because we've got a state and a country to save. And his website, I'm not going to it because fuck you, Larry, elderforamerica.com.
You did not win the state of California.
No.
You did not come close to
We
winning
told
the
you
state
to
of
fuck off,
California.
Larry.
And believe me, nobody in Arizona or Texas that's a Republican is going to vote for a Californian, even if they have an R next to their name.
By the way, Larry,
Ever.
And stop using the word got. Just say we have a state and a country to save. You're not very. If you're sage, should we burn you to get evil spirits out? Was that what would happen?
Yes, we should burn him.
I'm not suggesting anybody burn Larry Elder, anything more than metaphorically. Roast Larry Elder.
Burn him on Twitter.
Do
baby.
not physically do anything to singe Larry Elder.
The elder tree.
All you would get was demons.
Want to do that. All right. Here's why you should be nicer to people, especially your exes.
Okay.
A Pennsylvania man who stormed the Capitol on January 6th was turned in by an ex-girlfriend after he called her a moron for not believing the presidential election was stolen.
Well,
Yeah, he was sentenced to 9 months in prison.
what's funny is they're going to have so many of these people that are getting arrested, stuff like that, on the record with saying that it was Trump, saying that there was like all this stuff. All these people, like hundreds of people with this, you guys, what do you think the chances of these people going like treason being like the charge, like for some of these people?
Once they get away long enough for their minds to clear, one of them people will be the one that kills him.
Oh, man.
Well,
He ruined somebody. He ruined people's lives for sure.
He absolutely did.
He ruined a lot of
Absolutely,
people's
positively did. And some of the people who have been arrested, who've had their lives impacted dramatically because they believed him, are already saying, hey, this is bullshit and it ruined my life. And I feel stupid for following him.
Yeah. And Secret Service, I am not calling for anything to happen to him. I'm just pointing out what history has shown us to happen in these cases.
The people that you fuck over who were closest to you are the ones that are going to be hurt.
Yes.
To the level that they might do something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen, it wasn't Caesar's enemy that got him.
Nope.
It was his salad. Anywho,
In Tijuana.
That's
At the racetrack.
so OAN, One America Network, not seen on any major carrier anymore.
Nope.
Anchor Allison Steinberg called the person destroying vegan food at the grocery store a hero. She,
Nice.
so she, I don't know if it was a tweet or on Truth Central or wherever it was. Someone called Ron wrote, "I have destroyed about $6,000 or $7,000 of Beyond Meat or equivalents. Simply slice the packages open and keep walking." She I guess, retweeted that. It said, "Not all heroes wear capes." Who gives a shit if they're selling a fucking veggie burger alternative?
Exactly.
And by the way, it's not just vegans who eat that. There are people who, for health reasons, are like, look, I want to cut down on the amount of red meat I'm eating, but I don't want to stop eating.
Or can't. People that have Lyme disease or like have gotten bitten by ticks, like get this thing where they cannot have like proteins anymore. Certain like they can't have it. They can't have meat.
I can't have it.
You can't have it?
No, I'm fine. I'm
Can't have
on Atkins. I fucking live on protein now, motherfucker. I live on protein.
But
I made 1.5 pounds of bacon yesterday.
I did not eat 1.5 pounds of bacon yesterday. I could.
that's keto.
It's also Atkins friendly. Wow, we're at an hour already. All right, let's. Let me just say this. I reiterate it. I've said it before. I will say it again. Mike Huckabee is the fucking worst. He was at something with Donald Trump. He referred to Trump as the greatest president in his lifetime. You are the worst. Anyway. Let me see where we want to go with this. Really quickly.
Before you go real quick, Seattle is the only team in the NFC West to win a game, and they were picked to be last.
I mean, they may end up being last. That's absolutely fair, but who knows? With Trey Lance at the helm, the Niners could go 0-17. If you can't beat the fucking Bears, I don't know what you're gonna do. I actually want to. No, it takes too long. I want to point out that Dr. Oz is losing the social media battle.
I challenge my opponent.
No way. No way. The guy, that guy?
Opponent. What have you done? Rolling your
Dr. Oz.
Been riding coattails for like 20 years.
Dr. Oz, who I have met and actually worked with a couple of times.
Okay.
When I was doing promos for the Dr. Oz show, which was airing here locally on KCRA, where I worked at the time, this was before he started peddling all the weight loss bullshit, because I left there in 2013. So he started that, I think, 2015, something like that. He started this bullshit stuff. So anyway, he lives in New Jersey, but he's running for Senate in Pennsylvania. His opponent's John Fetterman, who's the lieutenant governor in Pennsylvania. So Dr. Oz decided to get out there and get snarky with his Dr. Oz eyebrows, and here's what he said.
challenge my opponent. What have you done, rolling your sleeves up in your own life to make life better for the people of Pennsylvania?
I first met John Fetterman when my son got into trouble. John took him under his wing. He helped him get his GED. John turned Braddock around, and John's turned my son's life around.
He was a one-man workforce for the city of Braddock.
When there was a fire, a shooting, an accident, John was there to help.
If someone needed clothes or food, whatever people needed.
John worked with the police and got them funding.
John stopped gun deaths for 5 years.
Made government actually work for people.
John Fetterman has spent his life trying to help people.
More jobs, fought crime, actual results for people.
John Fetterman helped change my life. He changed Harrisburg, and now he's going to change Washington.
Show me what you've done, not what you say.
And John Fetterman has done it. So they have been owning Dr. Oz on social media. Now, as we know, that's not necessarily translating to a win because old people are not on TikTok. But
so the reports are coming that there is an uptick in voter registration, most of those being young and Democratic and women. So
about to find the fuck around.
Yes.
Find out.
And look, and right before we started the show, to double down, Lindsey Graham decided that he was going to introduce a bill to ban late-term abortions. And it's it is they're either Machiavellian geniuses or they're fucking stupid as fuck. Because now Republican women candidates are having to defend women against these idiots, and because they know that they're going to lose.
And they like to throw out terms like late term abortions. What does that even mean? There are already rules about that. Once you pass a certain point in a pregnancy, to terminate that pregnancy, there have to be several things in place that would threaten the life and well-being of the woman carrying the fetus.
Yeah.
Once you pass a certain point. So this idea that there's all of these abortions happening to 8-month-old children in the womb, fetuses in the womb, that there are all these 8-month pregnancies being terminated, that doesn't happen unless one of two things is going on. Either the mother's life is in serious jeopardy, or the child has not fully developed and formed, and if carried to term, would die soon after.
Yep.
So at that point, the families have to make a horrific decision.
Yeah.
Because you've been carrying this kid around. You've prepared to have this child born. And now you get this news. You have to make the decision. Do we terminate the pregnancy, or do we allow this child to be born knowing that this child is going to basically have an incredibly short life of seizures, suffering, and probably die within days, if not hours, of actually being born?
Yeah.
And that's a very personal choice for couples. I know of couples who have chosen to carry the pregnancy to term in those cases, to meet their child, knowing that their child would die soon after being born. Other couples would make the other choice. But I don't think anybody sitting in a suit in a government building should be the one making that choice.
Yes. And then I think it was Texas, I could be wrong, but a different state decided that, oh, you can have the abortion, but you now have to have 2 physicians to sign off on the child being in the condition in order for you to. It's the. I don't even, the inhumanity.
Yeah.
And the arrogance that you would think that somebody would. I mean, what kind of person are you that you think that people would fake that in order to do that?
And there's tons of them that were 18 and got knocked up by somebody and had an abortion, and they don't care. They don't care. Like I'm talking about women like that are now on that other train and don't care if anybody else has that ability, because they are now where they want to be, and they are now in a spot where it doesn't matter. So I don't know, man. It's fucking crazy, dude.
It absolutely is, and that is one of the reasons why we've seen such a huge uptick in women registering to vote.
I registered both CJ and Alma.
Because there was one of the things that one of the people said was they never really thought it would happen.
Right.
It's like the Republicans voted for it. And they were like campaigning against it, but they never thought that it would really happen.
And that's the thing, because it's easy to stand there and spout platitudes.
Yeah, it's like they said the dog catching a car.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and the thing is there is, a large percentage of Republicans that just went along with that rhetoric about abortion because there's Roe versus Wade, so they didn't really care. They're not worried about it,
and it spoke to their base.
Yeah, and then
I can feed my base what they want to hear, whether I personally believe it or not, because nothing's going to happen.
there's 30% of the 100% of the Republicans that I need to get. Those 30% are rabid, and I need to appeal to them. And all I need to say to appeal to them is, I'm scared of be scared of these people, and abortions are bad.
Yeah.
That's all I need to say.
Yeah, it's
Be racist and no abortions.
there's reason for hope as we move forward toward the midterms. I'm from the Northeast, man. I'm always afraid of the what if. Always. And my wife looks at me like I'm crazy. She's like, "Why do you always think something bad is going to happen?" And, well, I'm from the Northeast, and bad has happened.
Yep.
A lot. And there's also the school of thought, if you expect bad, but good happens, huzzah! If you expect good and bad happens, I would point you to election night 2016. To all of the people who were fully expecting Hillary Clinton to win and become the first female president of the United States, and how crushed, absolutely crushed they were when it didn't happen. I'll point you back. I'll do you one better. I'll point you to 2004 when I sat with my friends and we're just like, how the fuck did George W. Bush get reelected? It was like, because we were like, oh no, he's going to, this is all bullshit. He's going down. People have to see this.
Yeah.
And then it didn't happen. So if you're wondering why people look at things, like, I'm not really sure.
George Bush was a distinguished gentleman.
Well, now, if you look back on him, sure. Compared to what's come since.
No. The Eddie Murphy, the distinguished gentleman. That's how he was.
Yeah.
He had the name, and people knew the name.
Yeah, well, after the bullshit that was happening, so we had 9/11. And we came together, and then we started to find out. We found out, I believe, before the 2004 election, that the line that they told us about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq was not true. Yeah. There were none. None were found. It was, for some reason, made up. And we used 9/11 as an excuse to invade Iraq, when Iraq did not have anybody hijacking planes on 9/11. We're like, oh, well, they funded it, and there's all these weapons of mass destruction. Now, why they did all of this, I don't know. I don't know. The speculation that Saddam Hussein...
I stopped talking to people because people don't listen to me until it's too fucking late. My boss said this bullshit to me today. He's like, you say a lot of stuff that's going to happen, and it hasn't happened yet. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, because everybody finds out 10 years later when I told you it was happening 10 years ago. I was like, I told you motherfuckers about the Patriot
Act.
The Oath Keepers.
Yeah.
I mentioned the Oath Keepers when Christiana was still on the show.
Oh, yeah. That was a while ago.
It was a while ago. And nobody paid attention to that shit.
Well, there was very little coverage of the Oath Keepers. Now we're finding out that a big part of their membership are police chiefs and sheriffs and cops and...
So, and I say that to say this. Everything that I say doesn't necessarily be happening right when I say it. But there are patterns and there's history to go on. I'm a student of history. I've seen how shit plays out. And generally, if you follow the line, we like to think that we're a new generation. We're reinventing the wheel. We're doing shit different. No, we're not.
We're the Pepsi generation.
We're the Pepsi generation.
We're the Pepsi generation.
We're doing this.
Things are different. It's refreshing. It's bold.
It's crazy how close we are to where we were 90 years ago.
Yeah. All this shit goes the exact same way. No matter what the technology is, we're still fucking human beings.
Spanish flu, COVID.
We're still human beings. We still are run by emotions, and
corporations are still in power.
Like,
still the rich being the rich people.
It's all the fucking same. So it all still runs the way it runs.
I had a paper. I mean, a couple years ago, I found a paper that my dad had from like 1983 in the Bay Area, and they're talking about homelessness. They're talking about drugs. They're talking about they're talking about oil shit, like all the same shit, exactly the same shit.
And it's not, and I'm not smarter. I just see the shit for what it is, and I'm like, this is how this shit's gonna end up. That is exactly it. If the rest of y'all sugarcoat shit and want to play, oh, this is not gonna happen. This is gonna turn this. Like, no, this is how this shit goes. Stop telling yourself something different. It is what it fucking is.
Well, here's to hoping that the finding out phase goes very poorly for everyone who stormed the Capitol on January 6th, who lied about the election, who supports the traitor who has stolen hundreds of classified documents, including our nuclear secrets, and kept them in a storage locker at a golf course or wherever they might be now. As we have found out that he was asked about those documents and then was seen 2 days later loading them onto a plane and heading to New Jersey. Why haven't we searched New Jersey yet?
It's coming.
You know where they should look? I saw this on Twitter.
Ivanka's grave.
Ivana's grave.
Ivana's grave, yeah.
So here's to them finding out that we still believe that treason is bad and that you're going to pay for it. That'll do it for us. We'll see you next time. Be good. God damn it. End broadcast. This is really awkward. This mouse sucks.